Are assumptions destroying parts of your life? And are they your assumptions? Or is it negative judgment being put on you that's been created by the assumptions of others? Lots of things are either misunderstood, misrepresented, or misinterpreted. Worse still, lots and lots of things simply don't get discussed at all and will go forever unsaid because of inaccurate assumptions that have already been made by you or sold to you. How many things have you missed out on or given up on, say in your career, relationships, friendships, because you thought you knew exactly what another person or symbolic entity was thinking and feeling? How many times have you been told something, but really you didn't hear it? Was it because you were unwilling to believe it? Or was it because you had already assumed what was meant and thus skewed the meaning of what you were hearing? On a more global scale, currently, the fabric of our world is being heavily influenced by conflicting narratives, all claiming to be based on fact, none of which would really stand up to scrutiny if only the right questions were being asked. We simply don't know what we don't know. And we would be far better off if we could at least recognize and acknowledge that we don't know. Socrates was reported to have said that his genius came from the fact that he knew nothing. Now, my understanding of this is that it was his way of ensuring he didn't make any assumptions. This philosophy would have allowed him to engage and listen intently, treating each interaction as a unique interaction. But unfortunately, our psychology is wired with a need to know. And that need to know is so powerful that so much so that if there is missing information, quick note now, there's always missing information, we simply don't notice it and fill the gaps in ourselves. We literally make it up. Once we've made it up, it does become real to us. And we believe that we now know, never giving ourselves that chance to notice that we actually don't. By the way, this amazing neurology and this fantastic neurological ability was designed to be a good thing. True reality is really, really complex, which I have mentioned several times in several of my other videos. It's way too complex for our neurology to cope with. All of that data bombarding our senses every single second of every day. So our neurology is meant to delete, distort, and generalize, which it does, so as to instantly create a chunk level that we can recognize and can cope with. This ability to process reality through our 5 main senses, now that's sights, sounds, feelings, smells, tastes, it's already quite limited, as we can only perceive a fraction of what is available to us at any one time. Now, an important part of this processing does require what is a 6th sense, and by the way, it's not levitation or mind reading. In NLP terms, it gets called audio-digital or non-specified. This is logic, understanding, and perception. This is what gives everything its meaning. Our true sensory-based experience of, let's say, a building would be size, shape, location, bricks, slates, windows, doors. And we could easily chunk down to a far more granular level if maybe we were a builder or an architect. But if we think it's a beautiful, awe-inspiring building, something really special that emotionally moves us just by gazing at it or being in it, then it's purely us that's creating that meaning. Now, here's the point. All of our assumptions are always linked to the meaning that we are putting on the things, people, and interactions. Do we really truly have the sensory-based information that makes the meaning warranted and appropriate? The truth is, a frightening percentage of the negative things people believe to be true will have little or no sensory-based evidence to support the belief at all. And you can't fix it if you're not in command of the true structure and details that created it. I believe that NLP Linguistic Presuppositions, by the way, there's only 9 formulas, which I cover off at the end of this video, are a foundational set of skills that can empower you to be far more in control of the sensory-based structure of reality and far more in control of it than you currently are. I'm going to be releasing 9 additional short videos in this series, taking you through in detail the real-world application of each of these formulas. And I'll be doing that over the coming days, so do like and subscribe to ensure that you get access. This is, of course, only if you want to be more in control of your world, if it would serve you to be a better listener and to be more influential, and perhaps even more importantly, if you want to have the power to recognize the flaws in any narrative, basically having an awareness that would stop you from ever buying into an illusion or a lie. Then learning all about the power of recognizing and utilizing presuppositions, in my opinion, is a must. And becoming a highly effective master communicator and influencer using these skills does actually have a double benefit. The first amazing benefit is it allows you to know what is categorically true from a sensory-based perspective, and what you, or indeed they, do not know yet for sure. As already mentioned, we know people are often making assumptions, and from those assumptions, they create a skewed meaning in their reality. They then either give advice or respond emotionally and behaviorally to that skewed reality. This tends to trigger what can lead to a never-ending downward spiral of convoluted misunderstandings and miscommunication. We know that people all too often assume far too much, far too early, with no tangible physical evidence to suggest it to be true. The power of learning to recognize presuppositions is that you'll always be able to know what it is that you know, what it is that you don't yet know, and from there you can work out what it is that you need to know to be able to communicate accurately and effectively to create predictable influence. Having power and command over this level of detail brings with it great confidence and will empower you to ask well-constructed, relevant questions to gather all of the necessary sensory-based information. Then and only then can you respond to now a clear and true representation of what is real and what is actually being communicated. Now, the second equally as powerful benefit is utilization. Utilizing positive presuppositions when you are speaking, this helps you to introduce, stimulate, control, and align positive outcomes using the listener's current internal representation of reality. This can help frame and reframe new positive resources into their thinking in a more acceptable and familiar way. It also helps gaining agreement and will assist you in positively guiding the person within the already accepted and familiar framework of their internal reality. You get to paint positive pictures that will stimulate positive feelings within their neurology. All because of your well-structured and mindfully chosen, highly relevant and easily accepted words. These well-crafted words will allow you to subliminally influence their thinking in a way that creates for them a reality that's full of new possibilities, that will be incredibly compelling for them. Designing it in this way helps you to have it accepted automatically as being tangible and true for them in their mind, in the here and now. This then supports and motivates them to begin to make it true in their physical reality going forward into the future. I recently had an interesting interaction, having shared a PDF document with some of this information in it with somebody, and they said to me, it almost feels illegal to know these things. It's like the movie Inception. And my answer to them was, yes, they are powerful. And this is just scratching the surface, really. But it's my belief that these skills should only be fully taught and certified for people who have integrity. Let's face it, there are plenty of manipulative people out there. the narcissists, sociopaths, and psychopaths of the world, who have, through need alone, not through training, developed a dark skill set to influence for personal gain. I don't think there's an actual gaslighting training being delivered out there. The closest thing, I suppose, would be trainers that tout pick-up artist techniques and toxic masculinity type trainings and seminars. I will certainly be training my 11-year-old daughter NLP presuppositions along with other powerful language skills, because I know that will help her ensure that she stays safe and in command of her own chosen reality. Because these skills, when learned well, will actually serve very much to protect you from the gaslighters of the world. You're developing a language-based heightened sensory awareness to guard against unwelcome emotional pressure. This can only be a good thing, to be more attuned and switched on to any reality that might be being wrongly sold to you. Listening effectively, questioning strategically, understanding accurately, and then influencing ethically does mean a win for everyone. So let's quickly cover off the 9 linguistic presuppositions. These are simply 9 linguistic rules through which you can make accurate predictions as to what someone else believes to be true. This is the tangible sensory structure that we can assume to be fact within any conversation. As mentioned earlier, there are 2 ways that your communication can greatly benefit from this. Number 1 is understanding, recognizing what can be sensory assumed by the person's choice of words, what we can easily presuppose to be true for them, and the utilization, using positive presuppositions to create resourceful and influential internal representations within the mind and neurology of the listener. So here's the 9 formulas. Number 1 is existence. That is all their nouns and verbs disguised as nouns. Number 2 is possibility or necessity. This is their cans, can'ts, shoulds, woulds, coulds, couldn'ts. Number 3 is cause and effect. This is all of their reasons. You'll hear the word because or the verb to make and any if-then statement. Number 4 is complex equivalencies. This is where they'll make 2 things seem the same or in some way equal to each other. And when you train your ear to hear it, the complex part will take a bit of conceptual leap to believe to be true. Number 5 is awareness. This is simply what modality is being used predominantly to express the reality that they're experiencing. Is it visual, auditory, kinesthetic, olfactory, gustatory, or audio-digital? Number 6 is temporal presuppositions. What current time is being represented in the communication? This is the verb tense for past, present, or future. Number 7 is adjective adverb modifiers. These are the meaning words, descriptors for their verbs and nouns. Number 8 is inclusive exclusive. This is the either or scenario, which can be a real attention distractor and usually the structure of a double bite. And finally, number 9 is an ordinal. This is simply a linguistic representation of a thus far unspoken or unqualified list. Again, I'm going to be releasing 9 additional short videos in this series, taking you through in detail the real-world application of each of these formulas over the coming few days. So do like and subscribe to ensure you get access to it. You can also easily go to advancedlinguisticinfluencing.co.uk to find out more. And as always, let's learn and evolve and create positive change together.